Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Well, first, a vaccine bus will soon roll out extra COVID jabs in 15 regional towns across Tasmania in a bid to boost inoculation rates. The opposition says that won't go far enough, calling for more vaccine hubs to be set up across the state.
Northern Tasmanians are turning out in droves for testing after a COVID-positive teenager left home quarantine earlier this week.
And if you are in Unum and surrounding suburbs and have any symptoms, please just turn up to the mobile clinic.
The list of casual contacts growing by the day, now at 51, reminding everyone how quickly Delta can spread.
Which is why we do another round of testing of the closest contacts over the next couple of days, and it's exactly why I'm saying to people in the Unum area and Launceston more generally, if you have symptoms, go and get tested.
More than 62% of Tasmanians are now fully vaccinated, but the rollout effort isn't slowing down, with a bus set to roll into 15 regional towns across the state, delivering Pfizer in the coming weeks.
We're going to where it's harder to reach a clinic, either a GP clinic, a pharmacy or one of our state clinics.
Labor says more could be done.
There are community organisations like our great community houses across Tasmania who will be willing to work with the state government when it comes to providing more localised access to vaccine clinics.
Another 1,000 appointments are up for grabs at MAC 2 this weekend, with 2 more clinics in Mowbray and Sheffield opening tomorrow. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
3 Devonport homes have been torched in just a matter of hours and causing $500,000 damage. After speaking to a number of witnesses, police believe a group of youths is responsible.
One night, 3 deliberate blazes within only a kilometre of each other.
Foolish. There's no rhyme or reason to burning down unoccupied houses.
Devonport fire crews were first called out to a public housing flat on Madden Street at 7:40 last night. Just after 9, they attended another blaze only a few blocks away on Oldacre Street. By 11 o'clock, a third house, just 100 metres up the road, was also up in flames.
The fires were, the second 2 were put out before the fires were completely engulfed, so it's unusual to have 3 fires in one night, but it was managed.
Investigators spent the morning combing through the mess at each site, while crews arrived to work on the burnt-out public housing. Police now searching for a group of 5 youths they believe are responsible, thanks to witnesses and business CCTV footage from the area.
There's been some squatting in the places over a period of time, so that's one of the theories we're working through.
With the houses unoccupied at the time, no one was injured, but the damage bill for the 3 blazes stands at $500,000. Police saying that number is a conservative estimate. As investigations continue, they're calling for any more information from the public. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, $450,000 damage has been caused to a public housing unit in Newtown this afternoon in an accidental blaze. But a fire which struck Launceston's Cotton On store last night has now been deemed deliberate. Initial investigations suggest clothing was set alight at the front of the store, but quickly extinguished by the store's sprinkler system and employees. Investigations will continue as police call for information and with anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers. Video footage, phone calls and messages have been played to a jury on the 3rd day of a trial of a man who has pleaded not guilty to deliberately lighting his former girlfriend on fire in 2017. The exchanges between the accused and alleged victim were heard in the Supreme Court in Hobart this morning, with more evidence expected to be played to the jury tomorrow. A 13-year-old has been charged after going on an alleged crime spree in Launceston. Police say the teen threatened a youth, a man and a woman in 3 incidents while armed with a knife yesterday. None of the 3 victims was injured. The teenager was arrested in Invermay last night and hit with 4 charges. Sideshow Alley is silent and amusement moneymakers have been mothballed on what is Launceston's show day in name only this year. After nearly 150 years, the pandemic has put the show in a perilous position, raising the question, will the show go on?
1929 provides some of the earliest known footage of the Launceston show, an almost eerie peek into the entertainment of the day. But this mix of amusements and agriculture would become a winning combination, a charm which continued through to the 70s. Where shows would take many forms.
Now there's a bit of brilliant riding.
But of course,
at the centre of the show is the farmer.
And winning a sash meant big dollars at the sale yard. The Grand Parade of Animals has long been a central feature. So too, the show jumping and the show-offs. The carnival atmosphere is rich pickings for journalists too, a career springboard even.
It is difficult to know how many of these Brisbane-invented salves have been sold today. One stall operator told us he thought it was more than 50,000. As long as the Dagwood dog is selling that well, we'll know that Launceston Show Day is as popular as ever. Tim Lester, Channel 9 News.
So too the humble show bag, which has faced discerning critics for generations.
This one encourages too much violence.
Girls' bags were criticised for being sexist, a detective bag for discriminating against the police.
But the show has continued to evolve. In 1997, to some sentiment, showgoers waved goodbye to Elphin.
The Elphin Showground's been more or less part of my life all those years.
And said hello to Inveresk.
Have a good look around the livestock and all the different games and stuff you had.
Today it's silent, but for years this area at Inveresk was heaving with rides and stalls. Next year brings a new chapter when the show goes to Carrick.
More space. We've got lots of space out there and you can have more exhibitors, more vendors.
As far back as the 80s, speculation surrounded the show's viability, but the most drastic decline came from an unlikely source. Chicken Feed's closure in 2012 stripped a third of ticket sales overnight, having been the sole source for pre-sale admissions. And while pandemic restrictions claim the last two editions, the Society senses a fresh start. But it needs a strong start, so the Carrick era can also survive long term.
Well, I'm confident there'll be a show. Success-wise, hopefully it'll be a good, successful show, but that's what we've got to work on.
So the ever-resilient event can morph into yet another form as it fights to live another day. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Resources Minister Guy Barnett has come under fire over a mining lease in the Tarkine. The Greens are calling for his resignation, accusing him of breaking the law by approving the lease to MMG on Helilog Road.
What it meant was that any Tasmanian who went down onto that public road, into that public forest, where there was that unlawful lease over it, opened themselves up to a charge of trespass.
This is a minor administrative error that's been identified, and Mr Barnett is an outstanding, hard-working minister and will continue to be so.
In a letter to the Bob Brown Foundation, Minister Barnett said he was not empowered to make the decision, and as a result, there has been no valid grant of that lease. A new lease application has been submitted by the company and is being assessed. A mother and son have uprooted their lives in Queensland, moving to Tasmania to splash the state with diving. The pair is on a mission to breathe life back into the water sport after a long local absence.
Jesse and his mum Barbie are the ultimate diving duo.
We've been doing it for a while together, so it's good to have her here, supporting the program.
Diving it's exciting, it's thrilling, but it's also scary.
The sport runs in the Carver family.
I'm the third generation of divers in the family. My granddad and my grandmother were both Olympic coaches. My auntie went to 4 Olympics and Commonwealth Games. My mum went to Junior World Games and she was ranked 6th in the world.
The pair left Queensland a fortnight ago, starting a new life in Tasmania to grow and boost the profile of diving.
We were running the Sunshine Coast Clubs and I was also the diving manager for the Commonwealth Games. It's good to be down here, it's a great facility, lots of kids, it's really good, we're loving it.
And they have big goals.
We want to hopefully next year take a team to nationals because we've already got some really good divers, so we want to start also adult programs, school programs.
Around 80 kids have been taking part in the school holiday clinics in Hobart, showing demand for diving is there.
But they teach us so many new tricks, which is really fun.
I like when Jesse teaches us different tricks, and it's been really fun because he's a really good coach and he helps us.
I think these guys are really good at what they do. They coach me really well.
It's always just a fun thing to learn and it will help you with other skills.
I like doing stuff, jumping off the boards. It's not that tricky when you get the hang of it.
Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, here's a sweet story to get us started. It's been a bumper year for Tasmanian chocolate makers, with Cadbury revealing its Hobart factory has broken production records. 58,000 tonnes of chocolate was produced in the past year alone, which is welcome news for local dairy farmers.
It's nearly 100 years old, but Cadbury's Hobart plant is in its prime, pumping out chocolate like never before.
Today is another record where we've produced more than 58,000 tonnes of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate at our Hobart factory in Tasmania.
The record production thanks to a $10 million investment, increasing the capacity to make chocolate crumb. But to make more chocolate using that famous glass and a half, Cadbury needed more milk, Tasmanian milk.
I'm a third generation Cadbury supplier. Dad's been on this farm since 1970, so 51 years, and he actually worked for his dad before that, who was also a Cadbury supplier.
8 extra producers like Darren Fielding have now been added to Cadbury's 48-strong dairy farm network. They contribute 130 million litres of milk to the chocolate production, making up more than 10% of the state's milk supply.
Our growth is a win for our Tasmanian dairy farmers, our people, our community and our business.
Meaning more chocolate, more jobs and more work for farmers. And more reasons for Cadbury's Hobart plant to celebrate ahead of next year's centenary. Melissa Raitt, 7 Tasmania News.
Tim Ward has helped Tasmania build a big buffer on day one of its Sheffield Shield opener in Adelaide, up against a Queensland side featuring Joe Burns, Marnus Labuschagne and Usman Khawaja. The Tigers held firm, with Charlie Wakeham and Ben McDermott reaching half centuries. But it was Ward who set the game alight.
Who works it through mid-wicket, and what a way to bring up your ton. Smashes it out to the mid-wicket boundary. A maiden first-class century to 23-year-old Tim Ward.
He's on 126 not out at stumps. Tasmania is 3 for 285. Tasmania has landed an extra 4 games of the Women's Big Bash season, meaning we'll host the first 24 of the season's 59 matches. All 4 of those extra games will be played in Launceston and 2 feature the Hurricanes. The Canes have a history of fading badly in contests, but with more experience together, the coach and players say those days are behind them.
The girls are speaking differently. And then, you know, when you recruit players that have got experience, they've got a bit of background in performing at this level, people start believing.
I guess we had a grouse time last year in the hub, but to get some more wins on the board and to be more successful this year, which I have no doubt we will.
The Hurricanes begin their season against the Melbourne Renegades in Hobart next Saturday night.
Good evening. Temperatures ranged from -2 on Mount Wellington to 18 at St Helens today. Hobart, Launceston and Devonport 15, Burnie 14 degrees. Most temperatures drop below average. Friendly Beaches 16, Strawn, Bushy Park, Lower Head, Smithton and Flinders Island 14, King Island 13, Lyre, 7. Most of the expected rain fell overnight. Henty Canal 47 millimetres in the 24 hours to 9 a.m. and Westbury recorded 36 millimetres. Scattered mid to low level cloud over the state today. A build-up during the afternoon. There's the cloud moving off the east that brought the overnight rain. Cloud also drifted over southern Victoria. Higher cloud covers much of New South Wales. Some more over the far north and also southern WA. Tomorrow the northwesterlies build ahead of a cold front over the Bight. A high starts to move off the east coast of the nation. The northwesterlies increasing to 20 to 30 knots and as strong as 35 knots over the southwest. Gale warning in that area from southeast Cape to Low Rocky Point. A strong wind warning from St Helens Point to southeast Cape and also from Low Rocky Point to Stanley. Minor flood warnings for the South Esk, North Esk and Macquarie rivers. Heading into tomorrow, a possible shower again for Hobart, 19 the top, 40% chance, 18 the high for Huonville with a shower or 2 and 20 the top for Campania. Launceston, a high of 16 degrees with an afternoon shower, 15 for Devonport, a shower or 2 clearing from Georgetown, 14 the maximum. 15 the high for Burnie with a shower or 2, a windy afternoon in the west, Strawn 15, Wynyard 15 degrees. St Helens atop tomorrow is 17 and partly cloudy, Swansea 19, 19 also for Port Arthur. UV 5 and moderate all round. On Saturday, partly cloudy over the east, but showers for the rest of the state. Showers and possible hail on Sunday, more frequent over the west and northeast, and on Monday showers contracting to the west. Cloudy elsewhere with lighter southwesterly winds. An early shower in Perth tomorrow, sunny and low 20s for Adelaide and Melbourne, cloudy weather for Canberra and Sydney, and a sunny 30 in Brisbane. Sunny here too in Hobart, 11 degrees, partly cloudy in Launceston, 12, partly cloudy in Devonport and 12 degrees. That's it from me, Kim.